Welcome back to the show, everybody. Check out these headlines. We got FTX back in the news. Library case. Don't say it's over, because it isn't. We're going to talk about it. Apex over in Amsterdam. You're going to want it. And JPM coin, you ain't going to believe what Brad Garlinghouse says. You're going to want all of that. And the CFTC and Carloine Pham, could they pull all of crypto out of the courtroom? We're going to give you that and so much more. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow us on Twitter and YouTube for exclusive content. Right now, $1.08 trillion market cap for crypto. The market is up 0.4%, and we'll take that however small it is today. Bitcoin, 25,800 plus, 1,600 plus for Ethereum. Tether market cap is 82.7 billion plus. XRP at the number five spot, stuck at 49 cents here. Are we ready? It's Friday. Are we ready for Friday? Yes, we are. The market for XRP is up 0.3% in the 24 hours, still off by 1.5 on the 7-day. Let's get started right here. We start with this. James K. Filan tells all of us, are we grateful to have somebody like James Filan? Jim, shout out to you for all that you do. We are so grateful for you. Former FTX executive Ryan Salame expected to plead guilty in crypto exchange case here. This is over the idea and understanding of political donations and campaign funds. Let me just give you this for a second here. Admitted wrongdoing, basically pleading guilty to criminal charges tied to the collapse of the crypto exchange. And this is basically, as I said, I read all of this. I was just looking for a spot that I had here. Pled guilty to require him to cooperate with the Manhattan U.S. Attorney's Office prosecuting FTX criminal case. It says here he's facing 10 years in a prison sentence and all kinds of fines. And essentially, he is admitted to the idea of helping with moving this money to campaigns and different donors in the political realm. And I'm trying to find this spot that I had because I had it highlighted and the article closed on me. One second. Let's see if I can just find this here. Let's see. So we're looking here, and I don't see it right now, but it's actually here we go. So prosecutors charging him, the one-time co-executive, FTX Bahamas-based, previously worked and conspired to operate the firm as an unlicensed money transmitter that used its accounts to process FTX customer deposits and withdrawals. And again, this was tied into money also going to political leader campaigns as well. So lots in front of us here, ladies and gentlemen. Lots in front of that guy right there who recently had his bail denied as well. Let me keep this moving because there's bigger news here, and it's Library Case, who has decided to file a notice of appeal, baby. And Fred Rispoli says it better than anybody right here. Way to go, Library. Would be great if SEC's crown jewel win gets reversed. Yes, it would. And I tell you what, I love that they are appealing this case because they got the shaft. It really did. And here is, look, I want to touch this very quickly here. Mexican billionaire says he only holds Bitcoin, MicroStrategy, and Bitcoin miners, oil companies, and gold miners. Take a quick listen.
In the liquid part of the portfolio, I now opted to, I basically just have Bitcoin, MicroStrategy, 4 or 5 miners, and some oil companies, and some gold miners.
That's it. Okay, well, you know what? Here we have this. And now you guys know that SHA-256 algorithm we've covered heavily here on the channel is patented by the National Security Agency. So the idea of Bitcoin being this anti-government, anti-establishment notion is a joke. You also know, we have covered heavily here, Department of Homeland Security said at a conference in front of the CFTC and the SEC, they absolutely know who Satoshi is, and it's 4 people. They interviewed them. So there are some gray areas about Bitcoin that are unanswered. However, Knowing that BlackRock, Invesco, WisdomTree, Fidelity, VanEck, Bitwise are all looking for Bitcoin spot ETF applications, I have to come to my core tenet, one of my core tenets of investing, which is I'm stacking my pennies next to their dollars. And going beyond what I know about Bitcoin, I am going to re-enter and get exposure to Bitcoin. And this is not financial advice. This is just me sharing my digital perspectives. I am actually going against the two things that really throw shade on the idea of what Bitcoin truly is. And I am going to put some exposure in my life with Bitcoin because BlackRock, Invesco, WisdomTree, Fidelity, VanEck, and Bitwise are too. That is one of my core tenets. It has always served me well. I will not go any further than I feel like I could risk something going to zero, as always. But the reality is I believe I need to stay true to that regardless of what I happen to know. I think stacking some of this next to what they're doing may pan out. So it's, again, not financial advice, but it's full disclosure, and I feel like it's necessary to do that. Now, here is Futureverse here sitting on stage at Apex, and I'm just showing this because it's not like there was a profound thing other than to say what he says here.
We chose XRPL and to work with Ripple and the XRP community for a range of things. But one of the things that we found interesting when we were looking at other layer ones out there to connect to was the kind of ethos around XRP and the community and the way the ledger was designed was aligned with our ethos to be lightweight, to do simple things really, really well, to reduce fees. All of those kinds of things align with providing good user experience.
And there you have it, an Apex fully underway. And there's the guy right there, the legend himself, David Schwartz. Ripple CTO David Schwartz shines light on the future of XRP Ledger, confirms XRP unique regulatory clarity in the United States. Things are looking bright for our Link 2 portfolio standout. I want to remind everybody right now, look, whether you're accredited or not, I'm encouraging to go register with Link 2. Just get yourself in the know. That's what's important, right? You can get access to the platform even if you're not accredited and learn tons of information about these projects and companies. And obviously, Ripple has said that they clearly plan to have a public exit at some point. Very exciting. And shout out to Ripple and RippleX for doing Apex in the Dev Summit, because you know what? The XRP Ledger is a public good. And you know, it takes a village. So it's not just Ripple, it's not just RippleX, and it's all the great minds around the world and developers who want to really take advantage of some kind of protocol that they know has the ability to settle for fractions of a penny. Scalability is there, the security's there. It's obviously the XRP Ledger. Let your imagination run and take off. Listen to this.
Battle with the SEC and the worst Christmas ever. The federal court in the United States has ruled that as a matter of law, XRP in and of itself is not a security. Yeah, that one. You can applaud all you want for that one. Other than Bitcoin, XRP is now the only digital asset with regulatory clarity in the United States. Yeah, I'd applaud for that one too.
And you know what? I just want to say, and listen to that term, Bitcoin and XRP are the only digital assets with regulatory clarity. However, XRP is the only digital asset with legal clarity. There is a very, 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 very bright line that separates those two issues. The case for deserving a proper party laid down here. Now listen, we're going to change gears a bit. Now you need to hear every bit of this. Take a listen. Shout out to Digital Asset Investor for putting this video together.
You mentioned Jamie Dimon, so let's bring it back to Jamie and JP Morgan. What do you think is going to be the thing that they will have to change the most or lose market share and somebody else is going to do better, faster, serve their clients better than JP Morgan or Goldman Sachs?
You can just hear the bankers panicking right now.
But what
feel the panic in their voices. But here's what always happens. The first thing that happens is they try to go, oh, it's nothing. And they did that. I mean, that's with every new industry, every new technology comes along, the powers that be, the incumbents, the status quo, all say, it's nothing. Don't ignore the man behind the curtain. This is nothing. And then all of a sudden it's too big to get in there. You know, they're going, oh my God, I got to face this thing. And then they all line up and they wrap their arms together and they say, we're not letting this happen. And then it keeps going. And then they say, okay, well, let's go after, let's sue them. Or let's go get the government.
There's another thing they do. They adopt the technology. I think.
No, that's at the end.
They will adopt this technology.
No, this is the last thing they do. No,
Yeah, it's like
it's
the
after.
seven
It's
stages
after.
of grief, I
Right.
know.
It's after the press planning. They plant the press stories. They put out lawsuits. They create as much of a fuss as possible. They try to get their government friends involved. And then they go, oh God, this thing's happening.
And there you have it. And it couldn't be more accurate right there. And that's where we are. But take a look at this. JP Morgan Chase is developing a blockchain-based digital deposit token to speed up cross-border payments. So after all the backdoor deals and cheating the system to keep XRP suppressed and held back, now there is nowhere left for JPM and cross-border gatekeeper to run. XRP has legal clarity and regulatory clarity, regardless if I spelled clarity wrong or not. And I did. My typing is atrocious. There's no question. And here is Brad Garlinghouse telling it like it was some time ago, but I want you to listen in context of understanding. Look, JPM has been behind consensus and Ethereum in a very big way. There's no question. All the work has been done. We've covered it extensively. I want you to listen now to how this resonates to where we currently are. Listen to what Brad Garlinghouse had to say back at this conference.
There was this headline, set of headlines about, about the JPM coin. Right. And this guy was from Morgan Stanley who was interviewing me. I said, so is Morgan Stanley going to use the JPM coin? And he's like, well, probably not. And so, well, is Citi going to use the JPM coin? Is B of A going to use the JPM coin? Is PNC? And the answer is no. And so does that mean we're all going to have these different coins? And does that mean like we're back to where we are, where there's lack of interoperability? So like, I don't get it. One more quick thing on the JPM coin. So let's think about this. The JPM coin, they announced for institutional customers, if you give them $1 in deposits, they'll give you a JPM coin that you then can move within the JPM ledger. Wait a minute, just use the dollar.
Right.
Well, I really don't understand. Like, if you're just moving it within the JPM ledger, and it has to be dollar to dollar, a one-to-one backing, it honestly doesn't actually. I don't understand what problem that solves. Now, back to my first answer, look, if it solves the problem of JPM being associated as they're leaning into crypto, yay. Mm-hmm. That's all I got.
That's all he's got. I don't know if anybody says it any better, but I'm reminding everybody because JPM is absolutely a gatekeeper to cross-border. And when I have heard David Schwartz talk about the idea and understanding that, big banks, if they could push a stop button on technology, they would, because they don't want to see any of that come in the way. And I totally get it. But that's why it would be such an advantage for someone like Bank of America and other banks that are not the gatekeepers to cross-border to be able to use on-demand liquidity, as John Deaton highlighted right after the decision in the case came out for XRP, declaring it was not a security in and of itself. And he said, as Bank of America isn't purchasing it directly from Ripple, they can use it. They can certainly purchase it off of Coinbase or Uphold or somewhere like that and use it how they see fit and the way, and then resell it if they choose. So there you have that. Now, this is very interesting, and I feel like this could be something if it turns out to be what we see here. Commissioner Carloine Pham from the CFTC says it's time to take action. I proposed the first ever U.S. pilot program for digital asset markets as a regulatory sandbox to test, gather data, examine innovation. This creates a safe framework for new technologies and market structures under existing regulations and protections. And let me tell you, if that happens, I believe we could see literally this could help keep crypto out of the courtrooms and in a regulatory sandbox. I don't know what we need to do to get that going here, but we need to get behind this in a big way. CFTC Pham wants to put together a regulatory sandbox to test digital asset markets, says Jeremy Hogan, cheering it. But since CFTC and SEC have different positions on regulatory control, wouldn't a true sandbox require SEC participation? Otherwise, you might just be putting a sand down their pants. And that is a great point as well. It will take the collaboration of the SEC too. But however, with that being said, if you can get the SEC to realize how many more cases do you have to lose if we tuck this technology and these companies inside a regulatory sandbox, we can begin to monitor their actions and activities, and then we can start to develop what would be necessary to craft legislation. Now, with that being said, if you have a regulatory sandbox, I think you could see the kind of numbers that are being talked about here from Eggrag Crypto. He's looking at the crypto total market cap of $200 trillion, and he's basically saying, regardless of the current sentiment in the market right now, very bearish, right? In the next cycle, virtually every technical analyst expert is really projecting a total market cap of $7 to $10 trillion. While these numbers are impressive on their own, imagine what could happen with major adoption during a utility cycle. Suddenly, those figures start to look tiny stepping stones on our crypto journey. And I think he's absolutely right. Citing here, you could see a $200 trillion market cap in just 10 years' time. My conviction is strong in that the next cycle, Eggrag Crypto believes you could see the total market cap will soar to an impressive $17 trillion, as you can see from this chart here. And just before we get out of here as well, how about Stellar? We know Stellar is a copy of the XRP ledger, and there we have usually correlation about a third of the price of what XRP normally is, give or take. He shows a chart here that shows XLM could be heading to $1 soon, and if it is, you have to ask yourself, does that mean XRP is around $3 when it does? Not financial advice from me or anyone else. It's just my digital perspectives. Good things are coming, and I'm glad we're here and have the awareness to be ready for it when it does. I'll catch all of you on the next one.